Store where we have privacy nutrition labels and app tracking transparency, where it forces people to get permission to track across apps. These things would not exist anymore, except in people that's stuck in our ecosystem. And so I worry deeply about privacy and security. And so what we're going to do is constructively take part in the debate and hope that we can find a way forward. As I said, there are good parts of the regulation, like the parts of the DSA, I think are right on. And so I think it's just one of those areas where we have a responsibility to say when it's not in the best interest of the user that it's not.
So would you say, like, if I try to sum up, would you say that side loading, to your point, side loading is damaging the action you're taking to try to protect privacy? That's the way to put it?
I think it's, yes, I would say that. I would say it would both damage privacy and security. I mean, you look at malware as an example, and Android has 47 times more malware than iOS does. Why is that? Well, it's because we've designed iOS in such a way that there's one app store and all of the apps are reviewed prior to going on the store. And so that keeps a lot of this malware stuff out of our ecosystem. And customers have told us very continuously how much they value that. And so we're going to be standing up for the user in the discussions, and we'll see where it goes. I'm optimistic that I think most people looking at security know that security is a major risk. And I think a lot of people increasingly agree that privacy is one of the most important issues of the century. And so I'm optimistic about how it will go.
So we've talked about the impact of technology in our society. The US, France went through very traumatizing event recently. We've seen the spread of misinformation, of conspiracy theory. Of course, and we are in the temple of tech for good and tech as a positive force. You know, how do you see the dark side of the technology?
Well, I think that we all need to understand that technology by itself doesn't want to be good. It doesn't want to be bad either. It's neutral, and whether it's great or not depends on the enter. And so I think that's an important lens to have on technology. We do suffer today from vast disinformation. It's affected the vaccine rates and things like that. We've been affected here in the United States by sort of the stirring of the pot socially and what disinformation has done. And so it's clear that there needs to be something done here. This is not an acceptable state of the world. And as I look at the DSA, there are some parts of it that I think will help this. But I'm not sure that anybody yet has a handle on how to fix it entirely. And I think it deserves more discussion and more debate.
I would like to move on to a question I've picked up in a social feed and social thread since yesterday when we announced the conversation between the two of us. And just before that, I want to go to the environmental commitment from Apple. You've set some very aggressive goals. By 2030, you want to be carbon neutral. How can you reconcile, and it's a question I've seen often, how do you reconcile those very ambitious goals and shipping a new iPhone every year? It's a question in the mind of the people. How do you do that? How can you reconcile very aggressive environmental goals and shipping new products line?
It's a good question. If I back up for a moment, We're carbon neutral as a company today. We achieved this a couple of years ago. What we've done now is expanded our view of what carbon neutral means and said for our supply chain and for usage of our product with the customer, so this total food chain, we're going to be carbon neutral by 2030. And so it's a very, very bold objective, far more aggressive than the 2050 type timelines that you'll hear. And so how do we do that? Well, we run Apple on 100% renewable energy. And so we do that today, and we're using our influence to get our suppliers to run their businesses on 100% renewable energy. And I'm pleased to tell you that we have over 100 suppliers that have already signed up to do that. And so we like to think of that we can be the ripple in the pond to create greater good. And the other thing that we're really focused on is we've set an objective not to have to remove anything from the earth to make new iPhones. Now, we're not there yet, but if you look at sort of our latest products, 40% of the aluminum in the Mac area is recycled, and 98% of the rare earth minerals are recycled on the iPhone 12. And so we're making enormous progress. And of course, we are using robotics to disassemble older iPhones to be the heart of newer iPhones. And so the trick is to have a closed loop between the selling of new product and the retirement and secondhand markets. And I feel like we've done a great job of that. As it turns out, a great product for a user and a great product for the planet can be one and the same. And that's the objective that we set for ourselves.
As you say, Apple is a huge and very successful company. So you need to lead by example, and you can kickstart a lot of usage. It's what you were mentioning with your supply chain. When I was reading messages on our social pages, you know, a lot of people are saying you need to lead by example. It's true.
A faster chip, a high-performance display, and the biggest upgrade ever to the camera. Introducing iPhone 13 Pro. It's ready for action! New wide and ultra-wide cameras let you capture incredible scenes in even lower light. The new telephoto camera has 3 times optical zoom for even closer close-ups. Discover a new world in macro with the ultra-wide camera. And upload and download faster on the go with 5G. The superior durability of ceramic shield means iPhone 13 Pro is ready for any shoot, almost anywhere. iPhone 13 Pro offers filmmaking capabilities not possible in even the most expensive movie cameras. Now you can capture, edit, and deliver in ProRes, the same format used in the movie industry. And introducing Cinematic Mode, which brings the art of cinematography to iPhone. For the first time, you can shift the focus automatically while you shoot or even afterwards. And all in Dolby Vision. The Super Retina XDR display with ProMotion uses an adaptive refresh rate that makes the iPhone experience feel faster and more fluid. Power is redefined with A15 Bionic, the world's fastest smartphone chip. And a huge leap in battery life to keep up with your day. More powerful, more intelligent, and a world of cinematic possibilities. iPhone 13 Pro.